fees and charges from DPW. You also have a year-end picture, so the whole budget year, in addition to the details of June spending. I noted on the utilities, the answer from Lisa was that we are getting charged for 2, and one of them definitely is for the lights in the alley, but I didn't see what the other one was.
We did not get that clarification.
Okay,
Sorry, my mic wasn't on. We did not get that clarification.
okay. Well, hopefully we can figure that out, because I don't know what else we would be paying for.
Yep, I can inquire after this meeting.
Okay,
Yep.
I have a couple questions too.
Sure,
Do
go
you
right
have
ahead.
more on your list?
pardon?
Do you have more on your list? or
No,
is
go
that-
right ahead.
There's a line item from May 29, 2025. It says deluxe leather chair, plus there's other items.
That was a
Uline.
mistake.
Right, but that's been on there for a couple months now.
Yeah, I think, though, it just has the wrong description, if I remember, correct?
Yeah, there was a couple of things on that invoice, but they weren't all billed out to the DDA.
Okay.
They were separate purchases, or they were one purchase going to different departments, if
Okay.
that makes sense. So that one I think just is the top one.
Okay.
There's other items that were purchased on that bill.
Okay.
The line item from 626 Cobb Communications, $800. Is that what this is? This, well, this says recreation guide?
No, that was the other, the state brochure that goes out. Linda, help me, I can't think of the name of it. There's an ad in it.
Oh,
Michigan Meetings and Events?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
They're not Cobb.
It is through the state, and I think it's through the Department of Natural Resources.
Can we get a copy of the ad? Can we
Yeah, and I
see it?
I know I provided a copy to Linda just to show, because I didn't know what it was, but I can.
Do you remember a time frame on that?
It's a once-a-year
Yeah, we did-
item that was pre-committed.
Okay.
And so the commitment would, again, be coming up, I think, towards early fall this year. And I've already reached out to to the contact, just notifying them that they please get a hold of us first.
Yeah.
Before this goes out, because it was basically, we received the ad, like,
And it
the
came
ad
out of
was
the
in there.
promotions line item,
Yeah.
that's why it triggered me too.
Yeah.
Okay, would love to see a copy of it.
Yep.
Yes,
Um,
I'm looking for it.
and then going back to that U line, that was also a promotions line item too. Do we remember what that was for?
Those were for the signs, for the.
879.47,
Yep.
that's right, okay, got it.
Right, the parking
We
signs.
determined that. There was just
Right?
a-
Yeah,
For the police department.
yeah, the police department, yep.
That's all from me on this
I
one.
did have a question, with regards to, Medicaid and FICA and all of that we were still paying.
Where's that?
It was in the detail, and, I mean, it showed like when we were paying when Nick was here, but then we still have charges this year. And I didn't understand
Shouldn't be.
why we would still have charges.
The only thing I can gather, but I can confirm, is that it's possibly related to the DPW hours, how they're billed back to the DDA for those service hours. So it would probably roll up those costs as well, but I can verify that.
Yeah, I'd love to get some
Which
insight
page was
into
that? I'm sorry.
what we're charged. I'm looking for, payroll,
Yeah, that's
It's page 103
actual
of
expenses.
revenue and expenditures.
revenue expenditures, page, oh, I'm on 6 of 4 of 10? That's payroll.
Wages part-time,
Really, yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
you see it, and then there's
Yep.
there's like FICA and other charges too.
Yeah, like right here, those items.
Yeah,
So it's probably related to that.
Got it.
okay.
That's,
Workers.
no, that's
Yeah,
for the
workman's comp.
activity for this.
You know, when I skimmed over it, 'cause I saw the 2024, but didn't I see the 2025 charges?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
There was the charge on January 7th of '25, so Christina, that would make sense if it was DPW. After the holidays, they can have them.
Yeah, I would just
We'll
like to
have
get
to- we will
insight
have
into
to
that,
verify
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Just so we have a clear understanding.
I love having this detail, though. This
I know it's
is,
a lot of extra
no, this is
stuff,
good.
but hopefully it
This is
helps.
good. Anybody else have any questions on the financial reports? Okay. We'll be moving on to public comments for items on the agenda. Do we have any public comments from our audience for items on the agenda? Hearing none, seeing none. We will move to new business. Bylaw amendment. You have in your package the amended bylaws. Thank you, Hillary, and your team for working so diligently on this. You know, I do have one public comment that was provided to me in an email, and it is on the bylaws, so I would like to just read it. Okay. This is from Anna Matson. As a member of the organization committee, I wanted to share my remarks about the revised bylaws. First, I want to say Hillary went above and beyond with the bylaws update. She collected bylaws from several other DDAs that we referenced and spent considerable time putting them together. Second, the biggest change you will see is the change in the Michigan law references. In 2018, the state updated the law that governs the DDA. For some instances, we just copied the wording right from the law. For example, you'll see in Article 4, board members, it is a copy and paste. Also, according to Holly, Michigan Code 3.6, duties of the village president, the village president shall be an ex officio member of all village commissions and boards without the right to vote. I did see that in the charter. I know the village president has routinely been on the DDA board, but I question if they were ever supposed to have voting rights. The village president by title can be intimidating for board members. These are not my words, by the way. But the position is only one vote on the board. The framers probably anticipated a power struggle, and that is why they said they should be a non-voting member. Now, on the other hand, Holly Code 31.53 says, the authority shall be under the supervision and control of the board consisting of the village president and 8 members. So not only do we have conflicting ordinances, but Michigan law specifically says that the bylaws dictate what public officials can be on the board, not an ordinance. The bylaws currently state that not less than one of the members be a member of village council. They do not say the village president specifically. Long story short, I would recommend the DDA hire their own attorney to answer these questions before the new bylaws are adopted. I would encourage you all to have a dialogue and debate about the revisions so we can have time to make any changes and for an attorney to go through them. We want these bylaws to last for the foreseeable future and not something we need to update each year. Because of that, I encourage you to take a little bit more time with it so we can get it right. Okay, so I don't know if that's something that the village needs to look at with 2 different conflicting ordinances.
What was the MCL that was referenced?
Yeah, let me bring that back up.
Is that something you'll be able to answer today, or will you need time to review it?
Oh,
I
we
would
weren't-
talk to the village
yeah.
attorney about it, but yeah, just for reference, because, I mean, that's contrary to Public Act 57, but I don't know if that's, I'm just wondering where the reference was, so I can just cite
Okay,
that.
it's Holly, Michigan Code 3.6, duties of village president, and Holly Code 31.53.
I was talking about the MCL that they referenced,
Oh.
where it's in violation of, because I'm aware of our charter and what our charter
Oh,
says.
okay, I don't have an MCL one
Okay.
in this.
There's references against Michigan law, so I'm
Okay.
assuming Michigan law would be referenced.
Yeah, it was not.
Well, under, under Article 4 for board members, it says MCL 125.1651.
That might
I
be it.
don't know if that's the one that you're looking but that is in relation to this, the bylaws.
Okay.
Well, that's Public Act 57. That is Public Act, the one that I was referencing,
Oh.
that, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
So we're not looking to actually vote on the bylaws at this meeting. Where you're being presented with them, so everybody can review them. And then we will, I would like to actually get them before legal, before we vote on them.
Can I just?
Absolutely,
talk
go
about
right
it for a
ahead,
minute?
please, please do.
So it's kind of a little bit confusing, so, we actually, I have copies of our current bylaws, if anybody wants a copy of those. There were some more changes made, and I tried to do like a comparison document so that I could like highlight them out, but honestly, this is even more confusing to me, this comparison document, so I would encourage everybody to read the bylaws. So the copies that are in the packet were printed in color, so it's gonna create just a little bit of confusion. There's some areas that are highlighted, but that doesn't outline all of the changes that were made and the updates. So like I said, if anybody wants a copy of our existing bylaws,
They're on our website as well, right?
yeah, and I
Okay.
have, I mean, I don't know if you're like a paper person,
I did have a couple of things, Hillary, in Article 11, is there an Article 11?
Under
Yes.
Article 11?
Yeah,
there's
it-
Article 11.
It did say that there are 4, but then it has parentheses, 5 standing committees.
because we added the executive committee.
Oh, well, okay, at least 4, but we have 5, got it.
Now, well, that's one of the changes.
Okay,
Another thing that I would like to point out specifically, I did remove an entire section, of our bylaws, and it was in our old bylaws, Article 9. And it talks about votes of the DDA, which we've addressed in other areas in the document. But the concerning part that made me just completely, was I feel like this is an OMA violation. Board may be taken, I'm sorry. Any action required or permitted to be taken at any meeting of the DDA board may be taken without a meeting.
I'm sorry, where are you reading that from?
May be taken without a meeting.
That was the old bylaws?
If all members of the DDA consent thereto in writing setting forth the action so taken, and the writing or writings are filed with the minutes of the proceedings, such consent shall have the same force and effect as a unanimous vote of the DDA board. That's the only thing that I just completely removed. That was completely just
I agree with that, I
taken
don't
out.
think we want to do that.
And then there are a few things that were added, so are we discussing this right
Well,
now, or-
we can. I mean, I also had another comment about the minutes for committees. I know that in the past, our committees have not done minutes. And I don't know if the committees under council do minutes, or if that's a requirement
OMA does not require minutes for subcommittees.
for
As far as
committees.
OMA does not require them. It's just the committee members will report back to the board.
Yes,
Sometimes you want them to track your progress or whatever, of course, but they're not necessary.
okay. So yes, we would like to have reports out at our board meetings, but formal minutes are not necessary.
And we have our work plans,
Yes,
so that's kind of serves as our guide, if you
okay.
will.
I just wanted to bring that up.
And, what do you want to call it, a check mark, if you will, on what you're working on, work plans. So, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't think you-
okay, I just wanted,
You could add more scrutiny in your bylaws to require minutes, but I'm just saying, OMA does not require
Okay.
subcommittees to have minutes.
So if you can look at section 8, please, this would be an OMA violation if it was to take effect. So it talks about the Article 11.
Yep, got it.
Section 8. Okay. And then the second sentence, the executive committee may be authorized to act on behalf of the full board when necessary. That is a direct OMA violation. The board may pre-approve by resolution for the executive committee to act as a full board on times of exigency, that was a fun word, that may occur between regularly scheduled board meetings. That's what special meetings are for. The full board
Right.
is required to make decisions. And if the three members suggested, the chair, the vice chair, and the secretary, were to make decisions instead of just recommendations, that would be a misdemeanor under Michigan law.
No, I agree. Where did that come from, Hillary? Was it in another DDA's bylaws?
I would have to
Yes.
actually.
It was?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and that conflicts with section 11, but section 11 is in line with the law. That's not really the part that matters. The part that matters is section 8 would be illegal.
So then under, just so I'm up to speed, on committees, I'm omitting the keep written minutes and then omitting section 8.
I would.
I don't know about omitting the whole thing as far as whatever you guys want to do with your executive committee.
That's an addition.
Okay, and I know that before, when you guys talked about executive committee, was it a resolution? Because before it was deemed that there would be 4 members, the 3 chairs and Dave. So if that's a resolution, does it need to be unresolutioned?
Well, that was for the selection.
Selection.
Yeah, that was
So-
for the purpose of, I think, finding our DDA director. I do agree with having an executive committee. I don't know what we would do, but I mean, you can say, and it could be a future treasurer might be the 4th person, because we
Sure.
talked about that as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if you necessarily want to get rid of section 8, just that, definitely that, from the second sentence on needs to go. As far as the rest, that's
Okay.
at DDA pleasure.
I know, as far as what they could do, so I noticed the same thing, and I kind of wrote down, my recommended change would be the executive committee shall consist of 3 board officers, chair, vice chair, secretary, how you have it. The executive committee shall be responsible for reviewing the agenda, the regular board meetings, and proposing the strategic agenda for the board as you have it. The responsibility of the executive board shall be to advise the executive director on the finances, personnel, and administration of the village of Holly DDA. The executive board shall prepare a budget and present the budget to be approved by the Village of Holly DDA Board of Directors, and then presented to Village Council for approval. And then it just kind of, they're doing the executive tasks that are required of the board.
Can you forward that
Yep,
language to
absolutely.
Hillary? Thank you.
All right, so then we're keeping the first 2 and then,
Yeah.
all right. And then, I added also a conflict of interest, so Article 6, which would, obviously, I would like feedback from you guys on if this is a policy that you would like to update or change, because it is new.
And if I make a comment, so under that same section, or article, section 4 and 5. So Article 4 was what was proposed, Article 5 was my attempt at a clarification, because it seems like what I have seen in many other DDAs, there's always that question and concern whether or not a property owner who sits on the board or a business owner that sits on the board can apply for grants that either the DDA administers or as a pass-through, like through MEDC, there's like the RAP grant is a contract that would be with the DDA, but for a business entity. So just so that you have clarification going forward, what you can and cannot do in relation to those items, because item 4 would absolutely not allow you to enter into any type of contract with the DDA.
Well, I think we would want our business owners to be able to apply for grants, right? Regardless if they're on the board. I mean, I know I received one. I mean, I don't think, wasn't the determinator, person that determined whether or not I received it. So I wasn't making that decision. It was through the design committee.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And this would like reiterate how to handle that in a meeting as well, that you would have to abstain from,
Right.
vote and conversation on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think everybody, if you could take this back and look at it again, go through it with a fine tooth comb, because this is going to be our guiding principles here. Did you have anything else, Hillary?
Does anybody have any questions or concerns, that they see like red flags blaring out at them that, okay.
Thank you for doing this, Hillary.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a lot of work.
And I updated the format to a more user-friendly one, because the last one was just like a nightmare to work with, so hopefully it's an easier read.
Much easier. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
When you and Nancy and I sat down, all the fonts were different, the numbers were off. the
And then
numbers-
trying to change it was
And you
just like.
couldn't move anything without it glitching the whole.
Yes, yes.
Great job, and thank you to Ms. Mattson too for helping out.
Yes. Okay. Moving on to new business, the speaker system contract. As you will remember, we had made a decision to use our tech funds that we get a grant on to update and/or fix our speaker system. We met with 4 or 5 different companies. And I'm still receiving proposals. I've received 2 of them, trying to get clarification on one. And then I have asked that they all be in by this Friday, because the work needs to be done by the end of August. So we're up against a timeline. We did already approve using those tech funds. It's a $10,000 grant. The 2 that I have so far are less than 10,000. One of the companies is pretty local. They're in Ortonville, which is kind of nice. So I guess I'm looking for procedure-wise, coming up with the actual, who we want to go with. Does it have to come back to the board, or can we approve? We've already approved the spending. Can you get,
Forward.
pardon?
I said, can you move forward? I was,
Right, can we just move
Forgot what
forward?
I said.
Because in interest of time and trying to get this done before the end of August, we'd like to do that. But if we're within that budget of the $10,000 grant, can we move forward? If anybody wants to see the proposals and weigh in on them, be more than happy to do that. So I guess I'm just looking for thoughts.
I'm fine with moving forward if it's already budgeted and
we already voted on the
approved.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We are long overdue for the speaker system.
Yes, and the good news is that the companies, the majority of them, believe that we can reuse what's there, because they are JBL speakers, I believe, good speakers, and we just need new guts and a new platform for serving up the music. The one company that we told them to, thanks but no thanks, they were like, it's gonna be over $20,000. So we said, yeah, no, thank you. So, okay, I will keep everybody updated. I'm hoping to have that decision made by the end of the week. And again, if anybody wants to see the proposals, I'd be more than happy to, well, actually, one of them is in front of you.
Packet.
Yeah, this is the company that is in Ortonville.
Would it be prudent to entertain a motion for approval to do up to such a certain amount?
We can. So if we would like to entertain a motion to approve up to $10,000, which was the grant?
Do we need one?
We already did that.
I don't know.
Already
Did you
approved
already
it.
do one?
We did. We
Okay.
approved it, yeah, spending the tech grant on this.
Oh, yeah, then it sounds like it's good to go forward.
Okay, all right. And again, if anybody wants more detail on these, just let me know.
Where's the brain gonna be? Is it gonna be in the same spot?
Actually, I told them, at least in the interim, it can go right in my shop. I have got those shelves that are facing the window and that can broadcast out very easily, and once they're up there, nobody even knows they're there. So, I mean, that can change in the future. It's just, it's easy, and it's easy to tap into then if we want to put microphones and broadcast messages through all the speakers.
probably easier than the public restroom closet.
Yes, yes.
My other question is, since we're on the same vein, the internet. So is the downtown internet, public internet working? Does anybody know that?
I think that is a question for Tim, right? Isn't the internet, I think it is working some-ish.
Okay.
But wasn't Oakland County going to stop?
it or something?
Yeah, my understanding that it was previously done through a grant through Oakland County, and then they stopped doing it. I don't know of any existing internet, and the village hasn't, it hasn't shown any interest in actually like providing like free internet in the downtown outside of like grant opportunities.
So is the Holly Public Wi-Fi not working?
I don't know. I don't
Still
use
coming
it.
up.
So
when I'm looking
the
for
router,
Wi-Fi.
the router might work. So the router might go out, but there might not be any internet connected to the router. So the router might still be sending a signal, but there might not be any internet connect. I can check on it, but.
Okay, is the
Yeah.
DDA, is that something we want to look at, is providing internet for our downtown?
Does anybody ask about it?
I don't know.
I feel like everybody's.
I've never had anyone ask,
They use mine in my shop, you know?
usually, yeah, that's what most people do.
Is it something we're gonna need for the speaker system
That's
to
why I was
work?
asking too.
Like if it is-
No, it's a local area network.
Okay.
But I thought it was going to be something that you needed for your security cameras that you were looking at.
So in fact, I was going to bring this up when I get to my comments, but we have a grant for the camera system, $50,000. It's going to be on the August agenda. And we've already got like the contract kind of lined up for it. But it's going to be a line of sight type thing to the police station, I think. So it's not going to need it for the cameras.
You won't need, okay.
No,
you won't
and
need it,
the
okay.
concern about using that is because the time you want the cameras most is when the internet would be the most congested. That would, degrade the signal, so that was one of the things that they had like Dickens Festival, or like a big event, when there's a lot of people, you want to use the cameras, that's when it'd be congested, hard to get a signal through, so they want like a dedicated line straight to it.
Okay.
I do have one issue though, and I think it's fantastic that you are going through like with the sound system and everything and having it there, but I do think that since you are not open all the time, that, or like in the evening when there might be an issue, I feel like it should be somewhere where somebody can get to and not have to, because I would want someone in my shop after hours, even if they had access.
It's all going to be by phone, by an app.
Okay.
So we will be able to control volume,
So
music,
we can get
everything
turned off
on
if
an
we
app.
happen to be blaring at midnight or
Yes, yes, and we can have multiple
Because there was an
people.
issue at one point
Yes.
that it was blaring like in the middle of
Yes.
the night.
And it doesn't just have to be me. I mean, we can all have access to it, so that's fine.
Okay, yeah, as long as it's all like that, like not like we're just stuck without,
Yes.
waiting for you to have to drive home, get dressed.
Yeah, get dressed.
Well, maybe. Okay, so moving forward, budget for 25-26 has been approved by the village council, and we need to formally adopt our 26 budget. So you all have a copy of that as well as part of the financial report. And I will entertain a motion to accept the budget as approved by council.
Is that this here?
Yes.
This one? So these other ones are gonna bother?
I don't know, can this be amended, or how does this work?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
my comment is in looking at the Dickens Festival title sponsorship, it's entered in as 10,000, it's really 12,000.
I did see that. I noticed that we spent 12,000 last year.
That was a typo, because last year we did 12,000. It's the same as last year, but it was 12, not 10.
Yeah, I thought maybe there was a reduction in the need this year.
No. In
Do
fact,
we need a motion, Christina, to make that amendment?
Yeah, I think that you should adopt it
Okay.
Keep those two things separate.
Okay.
And then, I know that we also, were looking at your contractual services.
Right.
Whether or not that needed to change or not.
Right, okay.
That's an issue too.
So I will entertain a motion to,
I do have a question.
Yes.
Are you saying lowering the ladies' night budget down to 3,000 from the 7,000? Is that what I'm saying?
That's what's on here.
yes. But if you look at what our spending was last year,
I don't think it got utilized last year. But
It
I know
didn't.
The spring one went well over 3,000, didn't it?
I would have to look here in the detail.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm even more confused, because this says 0.
It
for
does say
ladies.
0, there's a, the last page has the 10,000 for the Dickens and 0 for Ladies' Night Out.
You were looking, the 3,000 is the revenue. That's the revenue line of what money you got in, and the
Isn't this the page?
line at the end is the expenditure side.
The last page, though,
It's,
Yep.
yeah, the last page is like the summary or whatever,
and it's
and,
0,
yeah.
so that should be,
Is that just a typo?
must be.
Oops, sorry.
Now it's on.
It's like counterintuitive there. So if we go back to kind of a couple meetings ago in reviewing this, we moved those costs into project costs. So we were not itemizing out just for that event. So that way you had flexibility within your project costs to either be up or down, in particular with Ladies' Night. But we did reduce it overall in terms of Ladies' Night in that budget amendment, or in that budget discussion that we had a couple months back. So we did reduce it based upon what Linda had mentioned, is that the costs overall were less over the course of this past year. And
No,
We can't recall that at all.
I don't. It was exorbitant.
Deleting some of our advertising and promotional money that brings business downtown. I would definitely remember. But if you have that, because I know I don't always get the emails for minutes and stuff, I would like to see it, because I do not remember saying that we would lower our costs for our events.
I can provide the original budget document that we looked at and reviewed. And then I can see what's in those minutes. I'm not sure what all was captured in those minutes, so.
I think part of the discussion was based on not doing bags
Yes.
anymore.
That's what it
That
was
was
about.
part of the discussion.
Well,
That doesn't mean that we can't keep the budget the same and use it towards advertising dollars or some other promotion.
Allocation, for
We
sure.
just said,
We're
you know what,
doing
the
bags.
bags are kind of going stale on us.
Yes.
we're doing that.
And if you look at, I think it's page 9 of 10 of, I don't know which, the revenue and expenditure report, it does show for the fall, we spent $2,127 on bags. There's a raffle, volunteer dinners,
So we can amend this
postcards.
at any time, though, is really the bottom line, correct? We can say, oh, we need this much for,
But I'm confused though, because on the last page for project cost, it also says 0. So what are we looking at? here? The budget report for Village of Holly for the 25-26, project cost says 0 and. What the?
Okay.
I think that's a typo.
Because this was pulled
Yeah.
from,
Let's see,
Oh,
project costs.
oh, yeah. Yeah,
Well, we
there's
got
something
project costs,
wrong.
but we
It's a
got
typo.
6,000.
Okay,
For sure, because
The
the
whole thing?
Dickens Festival is 10,000, and then the line item for Ladies' Night Out is 0, which should be 3,000 to match the previous pages.
I switched it up to there.
okay.
You know what, I'll have to go back and look, because this is what I pulled from the village packet. So in comparison to what we submitted.
Because it looks like project costs are broken
Yeah.
down by the different committees down below. So
Yes, yes.
And it was-
$269,000 for design down there, for example.
And it was originally all rolled
Into
into
one,
just the
yes.
project costs. So perhaps it was broken down by the village treasurer in that way. Because we did have it itemized within those project costs.
Right. So, like, project cost for promotion was 4,000, it's now 19.
Right.
So we tried to change that up to be within the actual committee expense. And the one thing that, you know, you see the big jump on is design, and we've talked about that before, that we would like to actually start spending some of our money and doing some of the projects that have been on our list for a long time.
So you said that you broke it down by committee, and that's how it is in this document, right?
Yes,
So this is correct, based on how you wanted it?
Yes.
It's
Okay.
just
Yes.
We
confusing.
broke,
This is correct.
yes, but we had broken it down as like a sub of the project cost, so to show that.
Yep.
We weren't gonna put them in those individual code line items, we were originally just gonna put them in the 967, just so that there
Okay.
is flexibility, that if something were to run over or under, you have that flexibility within the year, and you're not having to move funds around,
right.
as we've done a little bit in the last few months because of some costs that we did not anticipate with, either with promotions or organization.
I think the part that's confusing for me, and maybe I'm alone in this, you guys. So the project costs you're talking about, I see Ladies Night has nothing, but you said that can be taken from those projects. But Dickens and Holidays both still have 10,000 or 2,750 kind of guaranteed to
I
go.
think
Those
those
are
are,
donations.
because those are separate, they're not internal DDA events, they're.
Right.
separate
Gotcha.
ones.
They're
Okay.
donations,
Okay,
That was the missing piece for me, thanks.
Yeah.
sponsorships, sorry.
Yep,
that makes sense.
okay.
But Jerome, you were saying that that is supposed to be 12,000, not the 10. Okay.
Correct. But you said to accept this
And then we'll go through the amendment, yes. So can I get a motion to accept the budget as presented to council?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Can we do a roll call?
Stauffer,
Yes.
Raska,
yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Allgaier, yes. Elliott, Brandon,
Yes.
Wingelmeyer, Greenway,
Yes.
Cuxey.
Yes.
Okay. Now, budget amendments. So, we want to make an amendment to the Dickens from 10,000 to 12,000.
I'll make that motion.
So moved.
Why don't you do a roll call on that as well, Hillary?
Okay, just 1 second, sorry. Okay, Stauffer,
Yes.
Raska,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Allgaier, yes. Elliott,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
Wingelmeyer,
Yes.
Greenway,
Yes.
Cuxey.
Yes.
Okay, that's passed. The other amendment, given the situation with the DDA director, is that we need to move some of the money out of full-time wages into contracted services that would allow us to continue to get work done until we fill that position.
And this is separate from line item 4. It's just amending moving the money over so we have it available to pay somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Whoever that might be,
Yes,
yes.
you would not be able to pay out contractual services to someone out of a personnel line item.
Right. So I'll entertain, go ahead.
Will that also mean that you can choose to hire whoever doesn't have, because it's not, we're not going into contract? That means that you could go into, or to basically hire someone to do, say, paperwork or whatever?
Correct.
And you don't need the board approval? Is that what this is?
I would need our board approval, absolutely,
Right,
yes.
so you could be hired in, okay.
Yes,
I just
yeah,
wanted to
yeah,
clarify.
yes, yes, yes.
And what line item is it going to? Is it going to, oh, I just saw it, sorry.
To the 818.
818?
Yeah.
Okay, which
Yes.
currently sits at
37,500.
37.5?
Yes,
Linda,
it-
what's your recommendation for the amount from the 70 to go to the 37.5?
By moving $100,000, that also then it can be moved back at the point in time that we do hire somebody. Obviously, we're not going to pay somebody $100,000, but it does allow us to contract services out. So I'll entertain a motion to move $100,000 from that one account to the other, to the contracted services.
So that would be coming from line, sorry, just to clarify, 702, some from there, and then where else?
713, 714, and 716. So that's basically taking any of your retirement
Got it.
and other
713.
benefits, yep.
Right.
713,
Yep.
4, 5, and 6,
4 and 6, I don't think it
Not five.
requires 5.
and then obviously 702.
That 5 is for DPW, yeah.
Let's see.
And did you want to do this until you've, like, because you still have 30, you haven't used any of these funds yet because it's the beginning of the fiscal year. So do you want to do this now, or do you want to wait until you need the funds? to
I think we need the
Yeah,
funds
it's
right
just-
now.
It's like
Okay.
101.
Entertain a motion to move that $100,000.
I'll make a motion to move the $100,000 into
Contracted
the
services.
contract expenses.
Second, any board discussion?
Sorry, who was the second?
It was Dave. Mr. Elliott.
It's very quiet.
Roll call.
Stouffer,
Yes.
Raska,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
O'Hare, yes. Elliott,
Yes, specify.
Brandon,
Yes.
Wingelmeyer,
Yes.
Greenway,
Yes.
Cuxey.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Sorry, what did you say?
Next on the agenda is the Christina's contract services. There's a whole list of things that need to be done pretty quickly. And I would like to extend her through the end of August. It might, then it would allow us to find another contract worker if we need it after that. But, I mean, for instance, our quarterly reports are due here in July. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. And we actually shortened the list. Jerome and I met with Christina. There was a 2-page document of all the things that are kind of on the docket of stuff to do, and we put some of that stuff off, and these were kind of the things that needed to be done in the next couple of months. Does anybody have any question about that list?
How many hours a week is the contract?
Is up to, sorry. I think it's up to 15 hours.
Was it 15 or 20?
12 or 15? Sorry. Maybe-
15?
I think it's up to 15 hours in a week. Sorry, I'm getting confused between like what we said for in person. So it was up to 10 hours in person, 8 to 10 hours in person, and then typically 12 to 15 on a weekly basis. Obviously, that fluctuates based upon the week and the need, you know, when you have board meetings on certain weeks. And then as for your in-person on-site, that will have to fluctuate a little bit just because of my schedule in August due to some other commitments, but we'll flex and make sure that there is the coverage that you need, but I am always available via email, phone, if you have questions, if you need follow-up. on certain items, and I'll make sure that we get that scheduled in for, based upon the priority that you need. But we are really going to focus on this punch list of items that have to get done, and, making sure that then those items are closed out before the next person would start.
What are the items on this list that are like crucial? I know you said you had more items on the list, but obviously the PA 57, the charitable donation license renewal,
The reports, any
The
of the
reports.
reports, training, let's see, finding legal counsel, grants, business directory.
So that one kind of bothers me, I'm not gonna lie. The business directory updates, we've been paying for that service since February.
It's been getting worked on.
It's worked on, yes.
I mean, but the list was provided with updates of contact information via a spreadsheet a couple months ago.
That was an old list that they're currently updating.
That's what's being done, updating it.
So I'll pose a question, and I do not mean to interrupt you, Hillary.
No,
If
go
we
ahead.
don't renew this contract, how will these items get done, is the question. I'm just putting it out there, like,
I have
because
an idea.
I don't know how to do a PA 57, so that's what I know we're in this.
Well, we already paid a separate $2,500 to onboard and find a DDA director, and with what happened at council the other night, I don't know what that's gonna look like going forward, so if it ends up becoming a dual role, then we paid for a service that we won't receive. So I would like to have somebody, we could allocate somebody, or the organization team, or maybe, I don't know, I would like to see that money used to train us on how to do these things, because I'm confident in our ability to complete paperwork. I mean, if we're shown, we all probably contribute to the data that goes into these reports.
We can't be compensated as board members.
I'm
you
not
speak in your
wanting
mic, please?
compensation.
No, I'm
I would
I
like
got
for
I'm sorry, I
Christina
got a
to train
message. Can we
us.
speak? I'm sorry to interrupt, Hillary, and this was to Jerome. I got a message. Can we speak in our mics, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
I just wanted to make mention that as board members, we're not allowed to be compensated.
Well,
Right.
I'm not asking for compensation, I just think that it could fall under a committee or something, because obviously we need to know how to do these things. Somebody needs to know how to do these things.
You're saying money for training, that's what you said earlier.
Are you talking about everything on this punch list?
No, I'm talking about specifically and for like the paperwork and stuff, 'cause
The reports, the grant reports and the PA 57 reports? I've done the PA 57 reports. Again, do we all have time in our wheelhouses to do all this, plus what's on our list of things to do with the committees? I don't.
So just with everything that's been going on, I just don't think that it would be in our best interest to move forward with renewing the contract. And it's nothing personal. I just feel like it's gonna further sever our relationship with the village, and I believe that we should look into other avenues. Maybe we could get 3 contracts brought to us, maybe we could have a special meeting, maybe the executive committee could get together and talk about it, but I just don't think that we're gonna have council support if we move forward in that direction, and there are things that we need council support on, and I just don't know. And again, it's nothing personal, but all of these things have been contributing to the breakdown in the relationship between the DDA and the village, and I personally, in good faith, can't move forward with
Well,
that.
okay, let's Do we have a motion, and then if we have a motion and a second, then we can discuss it and vote on it. I understand your comments, I do.
I make a motion to extend her contract through the end of August.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Now, board discussion?
I have a question about pragmatics here. The recommendation is to extend the contract through August 31st in the amount of $15,500.
Yes.
I guess I thought I had it memorized, it was around 6,000 or 7,000 a month or something closer to that.
It's 7,000 for July and 8,500 for August.
So if this isn't approved, then she worked this month for free?
I was wrapping up those items for this packet. It was part of kind of my list of that end of June items to get completed. And yes, I worked some last week to be able to get some stuff out, but that's based upon the work that I had already agreed to.
Jerome, I know at council you mentioned something about grants upcoming. I know you said there was one that we lost. I think you said it was in the area ballpark of 5,000?
It's a $10,000 grant, but we had only received 5,000 so far, which we
Okay.
had to return.
It was the
We had to
Daughters of
return
American
five. It was
Revolution.
supposed to be for 10, and
Yes.
so truly, we lost out on the 10 then?
Correct.
That was a depot one, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then you said that there's a couple more coming up. When are those and for how much? And that's my question. When are
Well-
those and how much?
With the one through the historical designation, if I'm correct, the large one that
Yes.
we have for the depot, we have to do quarterly reports on that. And that's kind of something that our previous director used to do. And then when previous director left and new people moved into the position, not knowing we even had a grant, so those kind of went by the wayside for a hot minute. And so we had to pick up the pieces real quick and salvage that relationship, which we were able to do. But now they want quarterly reports on the progress of the depot, and it's documentation and reports that have to be submitted on a regular basis.
And there is an extension on that one until the end of December for completing the work that needs to get done with the depot.
Right.
And there was additionally with that grant in particular, it wasn't just for the depot move,
Right.
but it was also to install the metal arches that were planned for
Yes.
Battle Alley.
And a mural.
In the mural, yes.
Yes.
Okay, I guess I'm kind of trying to look at the cost-benefit analysis here. If Christina's costing around 25,000 for 3 months, and the total of the grants is kind of what I was trying to weigh that against, but I'm not really getting a clear answer there. Just is it worth the payout also?
What is the grant for the,
For the National Trust.
yes, the National Trust, that's the name of it.
Off the top of my head, I think you still have another 150,000 to receive on with that grant.
Right.
I will have to go back and look at that because I don't remember the
Right,
exact
I don't
amount.
have it memorized either.
But there was also the idea of pursuing additional grants, still related to helping to support the future of the depot and the activation plan for the depot and around the park. So what would that activation be? What would be needed physically in that area? So as part of those contract services is developing a scope of work for an RFP that would go out to develop design concepts and a conceptual budget, which would be needed in order to apply for those grants.
Correct.
Okay, so these all sound very necessary. And Hillary, with your commentary, I think everyone understands what you're saying. Did you have any proposed solutions? It sounded like you were saying that you felt capable of at least some of the paperwork, and then were you saying to consider other people like Katie Golden, Nick Klemp, or soliciting others in general? Like, what's your thoughts there for other viable options?
Well, so when this came to us originally, we were only presented with one contract. So maybe there's another person out there. If we're gonna be, I mean, there's all different avenues to go, but I would like it to get back to where our business owners are being prioritized with our DDA, and that's just, it's not happening. And I don't see that in any of this either.
Well, with the contract services going through the end of August, that would be the next step, is to try to find another contract, until which point we have a DDA director. So not Christina, something less expensive, but trying to find somebody that maybe is already contracting with another city or village and maybe wants to do 2 part-time instead of 1 full-time. I mean, those are things that we need to investigate, but we need time to do that. I don't know the answers right now. Does that seem like an okay plan, is to move forward and trying to find another one, but in the meantime, trying to get some of this work done?
It feels like time is of the essence, is what I was saying, like who's gonna fill out these reports? In the meantime, it may take a bit of time to find that
Right.
person or situation.
We are also lax with doing information meetings. Under PA 57, the DDA is supposed to do 2 meetings a year that are informational for the community, and we have not done those in a while. And that is something else that is on the punch list here, is to facilitate that.
I'll be honest, I'm kind of in agreement that, I'm sorry, I'm kind of in agreement. I feel like some of this stuff definitely does not need to be someone who's getting paid $150 an hour to do, like intern management. Like that is really something that can be done by somebody who's lower paid. I feel like some of this stuff should have been already being done, and that where we were ahead. I feel like now we are trapped, and we have no choice, because there's a deadline now, and I don't like that feeling, that now we basically have to approve it if we want to get this stuff done. And we've already lost out on months and months of things, that we're not getting done. And I'm not even just talking about the business thing, I'm talking about these things that you do require a lot of expertise for, like that, absolutely, that Christina has all the expertise, in some of these things. And that's what, should have been concentrated on it, and then maybe like, there should have been an assistant. I just don't feel like some of this is really necessary. I don't think that cleaning up an office or doing office work is something that I want to contract for $8,500 a month. That's just my opinion, and like I said,
No.
definitely we're trapped.
That's okay?
Well, and when it first came to us, it was the same thing, and it was oh, we have to get this done, and I understand that, but we've been contracting this service for all of these months, so why are we at this dire deadline again? We've been paying for these services.
I think it's because we thought we were going to have a DDA director.
Right. So we had an
Now we
end
do not.
date. Right. And it's not to say she hasn't been doing all this. There have been quarterly reports done. There's a newsletter that's going out now every month.
Which I
There's all
like,
sorts
by
of
the way.
things.
It's very nice.
It is
The
very
newsletter is
nice.
awesome. I love it.
If the reports are quarterly, is the next one due in September? Is that July 31st?
July
Okay.
31st, sorry, it was on. And it's those two, it's the grant report as well as the Main Street Oakland County reporting, quarterly reporting that's due. And regarding the PA 57 information meetings, the game plan there was to get the notice out so that it would concur with the August meeting.
Right.
But you have to provide enough notice to the other taxing authorities, so, in order to
Yes.
do that, 14 days.
Are there any other board comments?
I'm just gonna say that I agree that there's things on here, like an e-newsletter, managing the intern, updating some, the documents, creating the brochure for the, depot. Those are all tasks that someone else could do. But my concern is making sure they got done and who's gonna manage those tasks. And getting someone to do them and then review them and make sure that they meet the qualifications and the desire of the aesthetics that we're looking for as far as professionalism and that type of thing. I hear you, I agree in many aspects, but at the moment, I think if that's the direction we want to go moving forward, we need to start a search for an admin, if you would, because that's kind of what that is, really. Maybe we could look for an admin in the future. My thoughts.
Okay.
So, and one more thing, so a lot of the stuff, like the quarterly reports due at the end of the month, could we shorten that and just do July? That way she could focus on the exact things that have to be done this month, and then, and that gives us a few weeks to maybe put feelers out for something else, but the things that have to be done will get done by the end of the month.
But that means you won't have any services for the month of August. So anything that needs to be done with regards to the actual running of the DDA and the meetings and all of the other things will not get done. We will have at least a month where nothing is going to get done.
We had that before Christina came on board, though, correct?
No, I was acting as the interim director. I was in the office. I had no idea what I was doing, but but I did show up in the office and I did work.
What would have to be done, what things couldn't be done for August that can't be done in July, that we could,
Board packets.
board packets? Is it under my understanding, I thought when I had read some of the bylaws that that was actually our chairperson. I was very confused because I don't always get the emails. Linda usually will, or April will email me separately to see if I got something, or Hillary will forward something to me, even though I've given my email a couple different times.
I have it now.
But the board, I thought the board packets were, and maybe just because, but I thought it was in the bylaws that it was the chair that did them.
The chair, the
didn't
vice
see-
chair, and the secretary review the documents of
Okay,
the
but
package.
it's the director that actually puts it all together.
Correct.
Okay.
And all of the back and
That's the bylaws.
forth that was going on between the director and Lisa to get clarification on all of the financial stuff, yeah, we don't have anybody to be able to do that.
Okay.
Is that a function that executive committee could do as you create an executive committee? I mean, not to do all of the paperwork, but if, similar to how we use other boards where the key personnel provide their agenda, the staff here will help put it out, but the key decisions made by the executive board provided to us, we assist with some of the, again, we're not gonna be able to do everything as staff here when we're taxed out as it is, but as far as just in the interim, if you need to get just packets out and things like that, if that's what the concern is for August, at least until we get to the other quarterly reports.
I'm going to go ahead and undress the very uncomfortable large elephant in the room. Council seemed particularly concerned with the ethics item A being Christina's responsibility, and I'd say that was by consensus the majority, though not all of council. I don't think that she has their confidence, so if time is of the essence, what if they voted her down? And they might not. You might be able to persuade them, we really need these things, et cetera. But there's a potential there that it could go either way. I really don't know.
I'm sorry, I don't understand that council could do what?
Denied renewing this POW contract.
I wasn't aware that council had a vote on it.
All contracts, bylaws, purchase, planning agreements.
That are outside of budget would go for the council, yeah. Unless the
But they're
budget-
in the budget, so,
You're just amending the budget right now in order to accommodate for it. So the budget amendment would go in front of it. It would be a new contract. Yeah.
I'm confused.
But it's under the 37.5 that's
Right,
already in the budget.
it's already in the budget. It would be any future ones beyond August.
So this was an anticipated budgeted item?
This was already in the budget to have contracted services regardless of what they might be.
I maybe it was amended for this purpose and maybe I didn't have all, I feel a little confused about now the amending that budget for that line item.
The one that we just did, or the one?
Because
Well,
now I'm curious as to that, so is that a workaround so that the city council does not have the power to basically, sorry,
They would have to approve of the budget amendment too.
okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering if that is the workaround.
this is to allow us to continue to do the work that the DDA needs to do until we find a solution,
Okay.
whether it's Christina or somebody else. It doesn't matter.
And with Linda's information there about the budget, I think you might be right that it was already allotted for. So
Right.
now I am unclear about like the totals that's already been spent this year and what the 15.5 would bring that to, if it would still be under or not. So,
Did it previous go to council when we
No,
hired her contract initially?
The original contract did.
oh, the original
the
contract.
original contract did.
Yes.
And then when
Council
we
approved it.
didn't we extend it one time prior? Did that go to council too?
It should have, I don't know if it did.
I
I don't think
don't
it did.
know that it did.
I think
The budget amendment
it
went to council on
so
the,
many things have happened with DDA and council, though, to be honest, I'd have to see the minutes. I don't wanna say for certain.
For
Tarina is positing that you're at 42.5
new-
already?
the new,
February through June for $8,500 a month, that puts us at 42,000.
our
Is that how the
budget
fiscal
year
year works,
starts
though?
fiscal year is July 1.
That's not, yeah, that's not how the fiscal year works, okay.
So, right now, there's 37.5 to work with, correct?
Contraction.
That's what we
yeah.
have, if it's,
You've just begun your
Yes.
fiscal year, yes.
Yes.
But we haven't been billed for, seems like it takes a minute for everything to catch up.
And anything that would be billed for like June, that's still coming in, those will be applied to the June fiscal year end, not your new fiscal year right now.
so the reason that everybody's sitting up here in these seats is because we care about the village of Holly and moving forward and collaborating together. Am I incorrect on that?
No?
We don't get
Nailed
paid
it.
to be up here. I know that we have a lot going on in terms of budget, special assessment, this, that, the other. But I think the end-all goal here is to move forward and figure out how do we move forward together. These items, I know that it's a lot of money, but we have to file paperwork. We have grants. I don't think anybody knows how to fill out a PA 57. I know that we have to figure out how we move forward without all of the, for lack of a better word, drama. I just want us to move forward. I just want us to come together. I know that that's wishful thinking, but how do we figure out how to push forward so we can keep going and do the things, all the projects and all of the things that we want to do? That's where I'm at. I just wanted to say my piece there because there's obviously, a lot has transpired in the last couple of weeks and it's very disheartening. And I don't know how we get there or what we do to get there, but man, I just want to figure it out. Just had to put that out there. Trying to move forward.
Thank you.
Well, there has been a motion already made.
Yes, there is in a second.
And a second, to go through August 31st in the amount of 15.5.
Yes. I was just allowing for board comments. Are there any others?
There's always going to be give and take. It's not going to be a perfect relationship, just like every relationship, right? There's give and take. I know that a lot has happened over the last few weeks, but we got to figure out how we can keep moving forward. Otherwise, we're just going to be dead in the water stagnant. That's my other comment.
Any other board comments? Hillary, can you take a roll call on the
Did you
motion?
want to say something?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was just going to support Kari's comments. Again, it's just been frustrating. We're approaching a year now without a director, and
It's a long time.
it's just a disservice. We're not doing as well as we certainly could be. So, just frustrating, kicking the can down the road again.
All right, my last comment on this will be, I don't think, it sounds like you have to worry about council, so that's one less thing to worry about. The ethical issues are something that bother me, though. The withholding of information was an enormous deal for me. And there are other people that can be hired. There are other subcontractors out there. Councilman Cascella found one that was working for, I want to say he said Fenton, but I can get back in touch with him, $25,000 a year to do some part-time grant writing and whatnot. So there are options available. And I don't think that this motion will be denied. I think it's going to pass from what the consensus I'm kind of looking at right now. But I just wanted to just say there are options.
But I would like to receive those options. I mean, we only have, if we extend this and the board approves, we have it till the end of August, and that's gonna come up very quickly. And so we need a plan for after August. So I would welcome any of those
And I'll make sure to get that to you.
ideas. Okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not excited about spending 15.5, but at the same time, I'm really excited about making a new plan. What are we gonna do? Because if we don't make a plan, we're gonna end up back in the same spot, right, Tarina? And then we're gonna feel like we're caught and we're rushed and we're this. And so, what is the plan? It's been a week since our choice for director was denied. There was some discussion brought up at that meeting about a possible joint position, you know, that type of thing. All of which is something that could be viable, but who's working on that? Is there a proposal coming to the DDA board on that behalf? What does that look like? How long will that take? And how soon could we possibly get a director so that all of this discussion becomes mute?
Tim has some of that available in his closing comments to include you in kind of
Okay,
getting the ball
perfect.
rolling
So
on that.
tonight, we're gonna hear.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. That's great. All right, that's it.
Okay. Hillary, roll call.
Coxey,
Yes.
Greenway,
No.
Wingelmeyer,
Yes.
Brandon,
No.
Elliott,
Yes.
Allgaier is no. Herrick,
Yes.
Raska,
Yes.
Stauffer,
Yes. Okay. Motion approved. Next on the agenda, under new business, is our Dickens Festival title sponsorship. We did discuss this a bit, and I think last year was the first year that we had decided to do that, and we all feel as business owners and the business community that the Dickens Festival does provide a lot of business for us, and we feel that we should be right up there at the top as being a presenting sponsor of this. It is in the budget, although it's incorrect, so we've made that amendment. But I will entertain a motion to continue being the title sponsorship of the Dickens Festival.
And with that motion, can someone please do the correct amount? Thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve sponsoring the Dickens Festival for 2025 in the amount of $12,000 as the title sponsor.
Second.
Can you do a roll call, Hillary?
Yeah, sorry, just give me 1 second. Stauffer,
Yes.
Raska,
I have a question.
I'm sorry.
Is this a conflict of interest? Should I
Yes.
not vote on this?
okay, so that,
Well, hold on.
I'm just curious.
Off the top of my head, I'm saying no. I'm thinking no because you don't profit off of it.
You
It's something
don't,
else you
yeah.
volunteer for. You don't pay your bills with
Right.
it, you don't.
Okay,
So
I
this is
just
just
wanted
for
to be
another
clear on
volunteer
that.
project.
I didn't
That's
want
my
it to,
opinion.
I would agree, because you do not personally financially
Benefit from it.
no,
Yeah.
none whatsoever,
Yeah.
trust me. Okay, yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Allgaier, yes. Elliott,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
Wingelmeyer,
Yes.
Greenway,
Yes.
Coxey.
Yes.
Motion approved. Christina, can you request a check for that amount for the Dickens Festival?
I'll prepare that.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is a facade grant from Balcony Row. We do have, twice a year, we do 2 facade grants. We haven't done one in a while. So she has submitted her application. Believe it's been through the design committee. Jerome, is that correct?
Yes, the design committee reviewed it and agree with the submission. The ask this evening is approval of it based on approval from the historical commission.
So she is going before the historical commission.
She
I wanted
has
to make
to.
sure. Okay, I just wanted to make sure she knew that. Okay. Do we have a motion to accept this and to initiate payment to Balcony Row Books?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Hillary, why don't you do a roll call on this since it's financial?
Okay.
Well, first of all, are there any board
Oh.
questions, comments?
I think Jerome just answered it because you said it had to pass approval of historic, so the two-tone scheme's not gonna be neon orange and pea green.
You know, it's interesting that they don't have any say on paint color.
Oh, yes, they do.
Yes, we do.
Yes, they do.
Well, then that's changed.
Okay.
Because they didn't when
Oh,
my
yes, they
building
do.
got painted.
All right, look,
That must have
No.
been changed recently,
If I
okay?
see
I
neon
stand.
paint down there, I'm.
You'll be calling? Although I do like pink.
Right.
So
Okay.
yes, it has to be
It has to look a certain
through
way.
their commission.
Okay. I stand corrected. All right, continue, Hillary.
Coxey,
Yes.
Greenway,
Yes.
Wingelmeyer,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
Elliott,
Yes.
Allgaier, yes. Herrick,
Yes.
Raska,
Yes.
Stauffer.
Yes. Okay. We, just with regards to facade grants, I want to make sure that all of our business owners know that those are available. They are a matching grant. I did talk to Roland Cantu, who owns the building across the alley from me, because it is up for rent. And I wanted to let him know about the facade grants because I'd really love to see him take off those wooden awnings. And there were windows behind that. But he's thinking about it, I planted the seed, but I just wanted to make sure our businesses know that that's available.
Is that the frame store?
Yes,
Okay. yeah.
yes.
I've
Yes.
also reached out to the Railroad Museum
Right,
for their
Oh,
new
nice.
spot.
yes. Okay, moving on to old business, purchasing policy. Do you want to go ahead and take that, April?
Thank you. Everyone, you should have 2 pages by in the general area. The top one looks like this. This is Village of Holly Downtown Development Authority Purchasing Policy. It largely reflects the village's purchasing policy per, a lot of our rules say that, the things that we do must reflect how the village does their operations as well. So, some of the jargon was changed to DDA instead of village, but for the most part, it reflects that. And it passed review by the attorney. He had a couple of edits and amendments for me to make, which I made. And I want to reiterate that this was before the decision to put it in front of DDA first and then go to legal.
Yeah,
So from now on, we'll be doing that the other way around. But this already went through Gildner. So any questions, please feel free to shoot. And if you would rather, take these home to study them and then come back and talk about it next month.
So the
That's-
purchasing deal is $5,000 or more competitive bids with board approval. So is that gonna mess up our speaker?
No, that's already passed.
Yes.
This is going forward.
That was a budgeted item.
And that was already budgeted anyway, so this is
Okay.
for stuff that's
All right.
not budgeted.
Good,
Yeah.
okay.
Is newspaper still considered like an e-newsletter? Should we clarify that? It just says newspaper.
And number
Can we have
5?
her looking, please?
Section 5, under
Section 5.
purchasing procedures.
Thank you, okay.
And then it's under bidders list, it references that as well.
Perfect, thank you. So what was your suggested amendment, Kari?
I think we should include an e-newsletter.
E-newsletter, okay.
because it says one newspaper of general circulation in the village. I don't know if we still have a newspaper of general circulation.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I
Yeah.
know,
We'll have to verify if some of that is, I don't know on purchasing policy, but some of our stuff is like based on Michigan law, hasn't been updated.
Gotcha.
On, yeah, like, so when we do a notice of a meeting or anything, we have to put it in the newspaper in the Times, and that's just a requirement. And I don't know if that is like,
required for DDA.
if that's required just across the board in our purchasing policy because of that, or if it's just outdated. So we need to just verify those things.
So are those things like you're gonna pave roads, or, I mean, they're bigger projects, right? I mean, I'm struggling trying to even think when this would apply for
Right.
us.
Yeah.
Or you're doing work on your water facility or whatever.
Well, it's probably not very often that you have purchases that expensive, right?
Right,
But the policy needs to be in place for the
Yeah.
occasions that you do.
I was just trying to think of an example, okay.
Well, speakers, I guess, is one. What else have you ever had that's this much?
Flower pots, trees.
Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes,
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay.
Yep.
But this is only for unbudgeted items? Did I hear you say that?
Well, I think even for budgeted,
Not
Yeah.
it's not about the part of budgeting, but the parts about the bids would still remain.
Right.
The board approval for, we want to see the bids, we want to see that we're just being transparent about that we're soliciting bids and not just, going with the first offer, because for all we know, we're being highballed.
Right.
Although the purchase itself would be, the money's already allocated for.
Just scanning this real quick, does it say how many bids you have to get?
Let me see, I believe it says 3, if it's one, yep, 3 bids.
That's usually
for
standard.
3 written estimates for 1,000 to 5. And I don't think I put a number in for competitive bids.
I just have being a business person,
Yeah,
as well as having dealt with some other things, and most recently now dealing with the depot, I know Tim will agree with this. It's a struggle to get that many bids sometimes. So I want to know how we can dictate this so that it's
I can
written a different
put-
way, that it's 3 bids if possible or something,
Yeah,
or?
I can
some-
put 3 when reasonable, because
I mean-
sometimes we had something recently where there was, that was the library had something recently where only one company in Michigan offers it, so we only got the 1 bid and it made
Right.
sense. So
Okay.
I could
I
put,
just-
on
I'm just
both-
bringing that up.
On both those sections, I can put 3 when
When,
applicable.
okay. When
Okay.
reasonable or
When
appropriate,
reasonable,
yes.
yeah.
There are specific, like, I think it's actually written in our charter and our purchasing policy, where if it's a specific type of work that, you're not gonna be realistically able to find, for example, people that can do a basement for a historical depot.
Right.
Like, you might only be able to get 1 or 2 bids, and so.
It's already
I'm
in
just
there.
talking in general right
Oh, it's
now,
in there?
though. It's really hard to get
It's-
professional quotes on
It's already
things.
in there. If you look right above emergency purchases, go up to number 7. Sorry, I don't know if it's wonky on my sheet. The competitive bidding or quotation requirements of this policy may be waived by majority vote of
thank
the
you.
board, so it's already covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So in that case, maybe that's where, you just come and tell us, hey, this is, we
We put it out for
had
bid,
0
and this is
bids for
what we
3
got.
months, we finally got 1, or whatever it is.
Yeah. So did I hear that we were going to review this and come back with any adjustments and things that you just noted for next month?
How would
Yeah,
you guys like to proceed? Do you want to take these home to review?
I'd like to.
I
I'd
feel
like
like
a
it's
little
a
more
pretty-
time, because
it's
it's
a
a lot of
good-sized document,
information,
yeah.
and I'd like to be a little more thorough than.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Oh, let me hurry up and
No,
decide
yeah,
right now,
I
you
agree,
know?
because I didn't have a whole committee with me to do this, so I'd like you guys to be able to take your time and look for any inconsistencies, that kind of thing, and anything that you find unagreeable.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, we'll make sure that's on the agenda for next month. Legal counsel policy. I think we already talked about that, didn't we?
We're still working on that.
Okay, so you're doing it under the organization? Okay.
Yes, and I actually had, kind of Christina's gonna help, or whoever wants to help can help, but, since her contract's extended, she's gonna work with me on that. or
Okay.
We'll schedule something, or I have an organization team meeting, I could broach the subject with, my team on Monday.
Okay.
At the coffee shop, if you would like to be there, 10 a.m. No.
Also, with regards to legal, do you want to take on trying to find legal services? I did request some names from Oakland County
Oh,
of
good.
people that specialize in municipal law.
Yeah,
So maybe you can take that on where you would do a RFP or whatever and try to get their prices, what they specialize in.
absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda were bank and CD options. We had talked about trying to make our money work for us a little bit. And we, per Mr. Wingelmeyer's request, we did add a couple of local banks on there. And it's in your packet. Deposit amounts, terms, the APRs. The best APR is Elga, actually, Credit Union. It is a little bit longer term, but if we're conservative in the amount we put in there, it'll still allow us to have money in our current fund if we need it for something. So if there aren't any questions on that, I'll entertain a motion to authorize chair and vice chair on behalf of Main Street Holly DDA to open a CD with Elga Credit Union in the amount of $75,000 for a 20-year term at 4.5.
20 year.
20 months, not 20 years.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
What was the amount?
You're not going to
I
be
may
here?
resign before that.
What was the
20 months, 75,000.
75. So,
Right.
Okay.
20-month term at a rate of 4.55%.
I'll make the motion to authorize the chairperson and vice chairperson on behalf of Main Street Holly DDA to open a CD with Elga Credit Union in the amount of $75,000 for a 20-month, not year term at a rate of 4.55%, APR 4.47 APY.
Second.
Can you do a roll call on that, Hillary?
Well, is there discussion?
Oh.
Or do we need to?
Yeah, there is.
Any discussion?
I think our money needs to be gaining interest, so I think this is a good move.
I'm not exactly sure how this would work. We would have to work with the village to figure out how to do that. Maybe it can just be a transfer, I don't know, but we'll have to work that out. ACH, I think that is. Yeah. Any other board discussion? Okay, Hillary.
Stauffer,
Yes.
Raska,
Yes.
Herrick,
Yes.
Allgaier, yes. Elliott,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
Wingelmeyer,
Yes.
Greenway,
Yes.
Coxey.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Let's move into our committee reports. Design, Jerome?
Design Committee, I'll start out with the negative and end with the positive. The negative, we have been discussing in past meetings of the Design Committee, and I believe it was brought up here at a couple of our board meetings about our banner program throughout the village, upgrading what those banners could look like. Are we maybe going to go back to possibly doing seasonal banners as opposed to individual banners that have business names on them and all that? That has not been resolved as of yet. I'm still waiting for a count on how many banners we need in the large size versus the smaller size, because we have two different size bracket placements. And Brian from DPW is working on that for me. But in the interim, a company that once we had a contract with many years ago, decided to start calling some of our businesses here in town. It's called CGI. And they started calling the businesses saying that they're calling on behalf of the Holly DDA. And as soon as we caught wind of that, Linda sent them an email to the individual with a cease and assist kind of concept and asked them not to reach out to businesses here. It is not a program we're supporting. It's considerably expensive compared to what we should be able to get them for. And plus, they're not local. I mean, they're in Jersey or somewhere. So if any business gets a call from CGI that is not a sanctioned DDA project, do not give them money and do not fall for their rhetoric. But I haven't heard of any new calls after your email.
I have not either.
Didn't even answer that email.
No, I did not.
And he didn't answer the email.
No,
Yeah.
but I will tell you that when I took over for Nick in his office, there was this little Post-it note
still
on
there.
his binder up above. It says, never, ever, 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 ever use CGI. So, okay, okay.
Do you know that they did call recently? So before the 4th of July? They
Yes.
called and left a message at
For
the
you?
office. Yes.
Yeah, well, maybe they called after the email, because it was just before the holiday, I believe.
Was it? Okay. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Okay.
Well, anyways, the other thing is obviously the facade grant, we already talked about that. Anybody that has a business in town that would like to spruce up the front of their building, it is a matching fund, and we would be happy to help you out with that. Also previously mentioned, the design committee discussed this because, as I said, upon our previous director's exit, he suggested that I get involved with the depot as the DDA representative, and I knew nothing of it. I knew nothing what was going on. I know nothing about any of it. And I didn't really know anything about these grants that we had hanging out there either. And I didn't know where to find the information. So we finally came up with it. Christina was able to locate it finally in Nick's computer under some sort of cryptic title, but there it was. And now we know what the grant says, and ironically, this grant was written some time ago. It was actually written very nicely and received, but it was written by Katie Golden when she was our director. And in that grant was also included that not only X amount of dollars for the depot, but there was also to be a mural done somewhere in the Battle Alley way in regards to honoring Carrie Nation. So that's one thing in there. And the other thing is the large metal arches that would go over Battle Alley that says Historic Battle Alley. You've seen them in many historic communities and things. Those are also in the grant. And we have to get those done before the end of the year to get the rest of the grant money. So, high speed ahead. Here we go. Just wanted to let everyone know, up to speed. I did not know about this until about 2 weeks ago when Christina found the grant, and it's like, well, and nobody on the depot committee knew about it. Joe Mishler said, what the hell is that? And so here it is. So we got it all, and we're moving forward. So that's what's working on the design committee. Also, I don't know if you've all had the opportunity to notice, but the Adopt a Garden program, those that got adopted are looking lovely. There's some really great ones out there, so if you had a chance. And I also want to say that Battle Alley looks magnificent. If you haven't had the chance to look down there, go check it out. The flowers look beautiful. The big containers are starting to drape down and look super wonderful. So just wanted to say that dollars well spent. The town looks amazing. And we're working on getting our watering cart fixed. I haven't heard the latest update, but our little golf cart that we use, we had some mechanical challenges with that. So we had the plants in town starting to wilt a little bit. So Brian and I have had many and numerous conversations, and he was getting parts for the golf cart to fix it. blah, 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 blah. In the meantime, they had to do an interim quick fix and use one of the other vehicles and put a water tank on it and go around because truly the plants were wilting because it was so hot over the 4th of July and things. And I didn't want to lose the plants, but I didn't get an update from him yet, so I don't know whether it's actually fixed, but it's in the process that I know.
Do we own that cart, or?
I was told the DDA owns the golf cart.
Okay,
Can someone confirm that?
that's what I had heard too, but I don't know. Okay,
All right. Very good. That's it from the design committee.
okay. Dave, Economic Vitality.
Yeah, we did have a meeting last month, reviewed our current work plans, looking forward. We also kind of looked into the progress being made with the business directory. The thing I felt most compelled and was interested in was some information that Christina provided us with from a neighboring community relative to how to start a business in wherever. And we kind of took that and ran with it a little bit. I'm real pleased to say that Chief Watson has agreed to work with me and really try to update that with village-specific information, contact numbers, all that type of thing, where then we can get it formatted. Ideally, we get that up on the website so we can kind of keep it maintained. But I think that'll be an incredibly useful tool, speaking as somebody that came to town just a few years ago and had no clue what to do. It's just very organized, very simple format with flow charts, but everything's kind of contained in there. So really excited to be able to put that together.
Awesome. Promotions.
We need to schedule a meeting. Hillary had a speaker that she had contacted to, Hillary, who was that again? Give
Thrive.
the-
Joyce
Thrive.
with Oakland Thrive.
Oakland Thrive, so we need to reschedule.
Yeah.
We're gonna wanna talk about ladies' night out for the fall, so we need to schedule a meeting.
Absolutely,
We'll chat after the meeting.
yes.
Okay, organization, Hillary.
So I was thankful that we wrapped up the bylaws, but here we are again. No, sorry. So I'm looking forward to everybody's feedback and any updates that need to, be going. And then I need a little bit of, so with everything that's been going on, I have not had the time to dedicate to all of the things. And I need to get the organization work plan, updated.
Okay,
So can somebody send me this sheet so that I can complete it, or a template? Is there a template?
there is a
or-
template.
Yeah, there is a
Yeah.
template.
But so, I mean, I'm really excited in moving forward with our transformation strategies, and, so that's what I intend to meet about, Monday, and, the new things that have been added, as well.
So with regard to transformation strategy, one of them is storytelling. And I think, we're going to have a huge opportunity with our depot on that. But I just wanted to let everybody know that that's one of the things that we have our intern, that we're going to have her work on. In addition to the business directory, we want her to start working on that history of our historic buildings. Because eventually, what we're envisioning is that, similar to a city like Petoskey, they have plaques on their buildings, and it depicts a point in time. You can pick like the turn of the last century or whatever. What was this building? And, I know I get asked that all the time in my building. What was this building? What was in here? That type of thing. But her short-term goal is to work on something for holidays, which we're pulling together kind of a historic trivia. But that, moving toward actually getting some real live historical data on our buildings, putting her in touch with our historical society and things like that. So that is part of that transformation strategy.
Nice, and then, I don't know, I mean, I just pulled them out today because I was going through all my paperwork, and on the back it has like suggested work
Yes.
plans for the 4 committees, so
Yes.
just in case, and if anybody needs a copy, let me know. I'll email it to you.
Good.
I'll email it.
Anything else? Hillary?
Oh, I'm
Good?
sorry, no.
Okay. Village manager.
All right.
A lot of stuff already has been covered. We talked about downtown cameras, it's gonna be on the August agenda for council. And I will provide the initial work plan, like the layout that we're thinking we got quotes from the same people that have worked before. They helped us do the audio here. And Matt Ekman, I can't remember the company's name, ABI maybe. Covered that. So the depot, Jerome talked about the depot a little bit. I did want to just say, one of those stall points we just got at, it was just when we received the basement bid, it was 3 times the amount that we thought, that we anticipated. So we're just looking at alternative ideas, we're still moving forward, everything, but we're working that angle right now in order to move forward. Well, we are, Pete's working it to take care of it. Jerome, did you want to talk, I wasn't there, but the event on Saturday, did you want to mention that?
Oh,
as
yeah.
well?
I can mention the event on Saturday. Saturday, we held a check presentation. The McKinney family, Tom McKinney's family, his wife Jane and sister, and many of the family members, there was probably 30, 35 people that came. You probably saw photos on social media. One of the things he had asked prior to his passing was he wanted to leave a little legacy, and he had selected the depot. And so they were honoring his wishes, and collectively they donated the funds to have the naming rights of the community room. So it was a nice, generous donation, and we're looking forward to, sooner than later, getting a plaque put up in that community room in his honor.
Awesome.
All right, and then so we've already talked about, council had brought up that they were interested in perhaps having like a combined role. And although I've looked into like how that could look, I've looked at some other communities that have done it. Some of them have been assistant manager positions, others have had it as like an economic development position. A lot of them have like community director positions. Those are community development positions. But what I wanted to do is really, I just want to try to schedule some time, if we can look at our calendars now, with the executive board, that we can kind of sit down and come up with a game plan together. What do we think would be the best way to move forward with this, as far as looking forward and hiring this? Is it something that you want, like, the village to take lead on to assist, this process with you and with, Christina, or how, and just maybe again, if we could just schedule some time to sit down and talk, the executive board and myself, so we can kind of determine a good way forward on this. If there's any other time this week, I don't know what everyone's schedules look like.
I don't have any time this week. I'm
Oh, you're
out at
gonna
the
be out.
fair. Yeah.
So, like I said, I have some comparables. I just don't know the appetite of the DDA right now. Again, everything's kind of been contentious right now. I think everyone wants to move forward, move ahead, as Kari had mentioned. But I don't want to propose anything unilaterally. I want to work together and come up with a proposal that's coming from both staff and the DDA that we can present to council as hey, this is how everyone thinks we should move forward. So whenever we can schedule some time, or if it's maybe organization committee, or however you want to delegate that responsibility, if it's not just a discussion with the whole board, I'm willing to sit down and work with whatever team you want to put together for this.
Why is this being proposed? Where did it come from?
It was a proposal from Jim Cascella. So he just was looking at saving strategies, and sharing more workload, I believe. Did you want to speak any more on that?
How does it save money for the village?
As far as just having, you'd have to ask Costco. I don't want to speak for him, as far as, I'm just taking what council asked me to present, as far as, looking forward at different options, and having those discussions. We'd have to look at what this would actually look like.
I feel like we went, when did we start the search? September?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it September? I just wish that would have been brought up a while ago, because I feel like we're right back to square one. And now we're gonna have to reconfigure. And then we're gonna be right back in that spot of, oh, what are we gonna do? We have to figure out how do we file this paperwork. I just feel like whatever we're gonna do, we need to figure out quicker than have an action plan in place and take action, because I
Well,
feel like
that, and again, I would, that's why I'm asking, like, hey, let's get together, let's figure something out so we can, do something with some kind of urgency, and that we're moving forward together rather than, again, me just saying, well, this is how I think the position, I could give you this is what I think our, this position would look like, but it's not taking the input of the DDA, and I don't think that's a constructive way for me to move forward with this as well. I'd rather, do it in collaboration.
Who from the village will be on that gathering?
It would probably just be myself at this time, right now.
But you just said you can't speak on behalf of council.
No, I mean,
So
because we
how
would do a
can-
proposal to council. I'm saying, like, we would, like,
Okay. I'm just totally confused on the whole process, so
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get a feel on it and say, okay, if, say, the executive committee met with you, we're gonna probably have a pretty one-sided conversation from our standpoint, and then you're gonna be involved, and then you're gonna say, well, I don't know what council thinks. So I
No,
guess my concern is, why don't we involve a couple council members so that we get a feel for what's going on?
We could do that
Because
as
I
far
don't
as
know
with the
where
organization
I don't know
committee.
what their thoughts are.
Yeah.
And what that would look like, and when you say it's cost cutting, for who? We budgeted for a director, so we have money in our budget, we budgeted for a director, we didn't go outside of our budget, so that was all covered. So now, when you say it's cost cutting, I don't know what it's cost cutting, unless you want us to hire a person, pay for it, and you're gonna use their services, and that's not really the way the DDA works. So that's what I'm confused about.
I think I can speak a little better to what Casella said. He was
Okay.
talking about being responsible, fiscally responsible with village money, which this is all village money. And it would save the DDA's budget as well if the two budgets were thrown in together.
There's
And-
definitely things that we could share, for sure.
Yeah,
what
and I think
budget?
This is all stuff that if you want to participate, you can, and if you don't, and you want to continue a search for just your own director and not throw in with the village, you don't have to.
But if we did that, you wouldn't approve it, so I don't see why we would keep spinning our wheels.
I don't know that that's necessarily true. I think that that was rather bold to claim that you know how the council would vote. In regards to the last vote, there was a lot of other factors that played in there.
So, okay, go back to the cost savings. How does that save money? Because you don't have an assistant director right now.
Right,
And-
so it would save money on us paying for an entire assistant manager by ourselves, and it would save you money by not paying for an entire DDA director yourself. I'll just make numbers up.
Right.
Let's say you guys planned on spending 70, and we planned on spending 70, and we both throw in 35.
Were you planning on hiring an assistant director? Was that in the plans for the council?
There
Was
have been
it?
discussions about how, I'd been asked if we were to do it, how to look. Now, to be honest, my thought was not to do it in basis of like a DDA, like having those shared things. Where I really need assistance is within like the planning side. And so this has kind of also shifted my, like, okay, if we were to go forward to this, I would have to focus this, new role more on the economic development, community development side, and, and take, back some of the thoughts that we had about like doing that with assistance on planning. But
So when Nick Klemp was hired, was it a split?
No.
No.
It was
He
all
was a DDA
DDA?
director, but he reported to the village manager. And even with Katie,
That's
she
what I was
served
gonna
two
ask.
masters, and those two different masters didn't always mesh. And she was told a lot of times things that she needed to do from the village manager that did not necessarily coincide with the DDA.
Was her,
Additionally, at that time, the village paid for a full-time assistant that was on the village budget, not the DDA budget, for that role.
for
And then
Katie's role?
for the dual role, she had a full-time assistant, and then when the role went away, or the dual role part of it, the assistant position also went away.
And for transparency, just so I've also reached out, Katie had reached out to some council members as well after, just like providing some clarity. I sent her a message, said, hey, I'd love to be able to sit down and talk about how the role worked when you were here, so we don't make the same mistakes over again. And also, like, I reached out to Nick. Nick and I are gonna grab, we're gonna get together sometime in the next week or two, just to have the same kind of conversation about how, when we're going forward, I wanna make sure that we have a better relationship than, what transpired before, and set the next person up for success, set both organizations up for success. So I'm I'm trying to get all of the historical knowledge I can from the people that have been in these positions as well.
So perhaps if you wanted to meet with the executive committee or whoever we deem was going to meet with you, do you want to have your other meetings first? Because that would be certainly pertinent information.
Yeah, I mean, in whatever order, I mean, because it's not going to be like, I hope it's a continued dialogue. I
Right.
don't want it to be a one meeting and then we're done. I want it to be
Correct.
like a constant dialogue. But I think there are, expectations that should be set. Like this is, the executive board's thoughts on this. Here are non-negotiable things that we want to make sure are clarified in there. And then I'd say, well, these are the things from a staff administrative perspective, not from like a legislative side, but from an administrative side. This is where I could use help. This is where I feel like it would be beneficial. And I think that although, getting council involved absolutely could happen if we want to do that, I can speak for how I feel like we could best use it on an administrative side. I think it would just lend, if I'm telling council and the DDA saying, we believe this is the best way forward, and I'm saying, I agree, that we've done this in conjunction, I feel like council would be appreciative of that collaboration, especially with some of the recent issues that we've had. So. We all want the same thing. We all want the same goal. Yeah, and Kari already said it.
Did you have anything else?
I'll look up the water cart issue. Last month, I believe I sent out Placer AI data. I don't know if I sent it just to leadership or if I sent it to the whole board, but I asked SimCog, who does Placer AI, which does like analysis. I had them do analysis of the village as a whole. I had them do special certain events, holiday or 4th of July, Dickens Festival, and provide that Placer AI data for the DDA. It's, none of it's like secret information and go out to every business owner, and it might help them inform decisions on, hours that we should stay open based on when we're seeing traffic, or any of those events. I'm not sure, I know I sent it out.
I have not seen it.
I would love to see that.
All right.
Would they be willing to come and present?
I can ask if they would.
Because I'd love to have them come to a meeting
Yes.
and present that information.
Especially when you look through the data, because the data is kind of dense. And
It is.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So,
they can give us the executive summary and all the backup behind it, yeah.
yeah, I'll make sure, I'll send it out again. I hadn't heard anything back, and we've had some issues with our email, so I'll make sure it went out. And I'll just provide it to the whole board. And-
Okay.
And again, it can be distributed out however you would like. And I think it's just a tool. It's nothing as like, it's just a good information to have. They break it down the last few years.
Yeah, I'd love to give them some time on an agenda to actually present that.
Yeah, I'll see about their availability.
Okay.
We talked about downtown cameras and that. Yeah, I think
That's it?
pretty much it, yeah.
Okay.
Did
Chris,
the village get any student volunteers? I know you were looking.
I would have to ask Lisa, because they would have gone to Lisa for that. I'm not sure. I haven't heard of any yet, specifically, yeah.
okay. Christina? Did you have anything?
Just a couple things. So, and I don't know if it was previously mentioned, we do have our new campers
Yes.
brochure at the table. I want to say that the intern helped to update the information on the inside in terms of the businesses. We also spent the time in like reorganizing it a little bit because there was a lot of just duplicative information in there and just trying to find a way to be able to still carry that information but in a more organized fashion. And then Linda was able to get this out to some of the campsites and parks.
But we did order 2,500 of those. There are some here at the office. If anyone else wants them at their business, we can get you a stack. Or any of the other businesses that might be watching, if they would like some copies of that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that with the business directories, so on the website, all of the campsites have been updated. So all the camp information in the website. So when you go to the website, there is a specific tab to be able to look at that information and what businesses are there. So that has been updated. And then we have also been then updating the rest of the businesses as well. But one of the things that I reached out to Oakland County for is the property list data. And we have been combining both the property data with the business listing data. And that's a little bit more laborious laborious than you can imagine. But this will provide you moving forward with whatever CRM you have in place. You'll have a really good solid base of data to be able to put in there and associate it with the contact information, which is great. And then secondly, regarding the CRM, I have continued to reach out to a couple of the companies to get more detail and information, so that way we can get that back. And I don't know if both promotions and organization wants to look at that information, or all the board members. I wasn't sure who to potentially direct that to. And then last but not least, just working with organization regarding that legal counsel policy draft. So that I will be working on starting this week. So that way we have something to hopefully discuss at the organization committee meeting coming up. And then other than that, I just want to, just reiterate is that, I'm here to help you get what you need to get done during these next 2 months. And, I am very proud of the work that you all have put in, because you show a lot of courage and strength to be able to continue to do good work, even when things are difficult. And it's not always easy being DDAs, and it's not easy being board members at times, because you have to put in a lot of volunteer effort, especially when you're utilizing and truly utilizing the Main Street approach, which you are, which is grassroots, community-driven. And I think that to acknowledge the fact that, you received your accreditation from Main Street Oakland County, and you had that at the council meeting, I want to make sure everyone here who's listening knows that you received your accreditation based upon your volunteer efforts, and continue to do that good work. Because you will always have successes when you're working as a team together. And your team is not just here, this DDA board, it's all your volunteers. It is working with the village. It's working with all of your partners around the table. So continue to do that good work. You will have many successes for many years to come because of that. So,
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank
Do
you.
you mind if I ask a question?
Yeah. Go ahead.
The purpose of this, is it supposed to be all of the businesses, or is there it's not, okay.
No.
Is it like the Chamber of Commerce businesses, or?
So this was based upon the previous brochure that was done, and I think, I don't know how many years that the brochure had been done in the past, but it was really meant to hit upon what campers typically would need, and knowing that we would want to drive them into the downtown and into the rest of the DDA area for dining and other shopping needs that they might have, or, on those rainy days, where do I spend my time?
That's why it says welcome campers.
Yes,
Got it.
yes. And we do get a lot of campers with the 4 parks that we have just within the close radius. I mean, we get a lot of campers in town. So it's always good to have that resource there. Okay, at this time, I would open up for public comment for items not on the agenda. And if anybody has a comment? Amy? Will you state your name and address, please?
Amy Hillman, 6053 Great Lakes Drive. Your latest issue?
And it was really empowering. A lot of my recommendation letters that came through that were not addressed at the council level, I was very proud of. And it reminded me of all the great work I've done for my community. I was really proud to be the top candidate out of 20. I have dedicated my time in this community, and my education has been bought and paid for by the taxpayers of our community. There's a reason that I was the top of 20 candidates. There was a reason why I was the choice. There was a reason why I chose to apply for this position, actually. I've been the code enforcement officer since 2016. I've worked at Holly Township since 2013. And I was so happy to take everything that I had learned and the education that was paid for by my community and bring it to another side of my community. And I had expected to learn the other side. And I looked forward to working with the village. I looked forward to learning from you. I didn't understand how duplicitous it would be. I didn't understand how feared my current employer is. I didn't realize that I would be judged upon the dislike that certain members of council have for him. I didn't realize how, when I sat across the table from your department heads, that they didn't enjoy having to do their job. And that's the only thing that I can understand or derive from the comment that I was not going to be a team player, because I'm the most important member of the team. And I have been for the last 9 years. I was disappointed in how things went following June 18th, and June 18th made me more disappointed in how June 9th went, and the inability for council president and for the village manager to speak their concerns, and then to allow it to be placed at the feet of your interim director. I wish I would have known the contention that I was up against before my position at the township was eliminated in anticipation of this. So my career here in Holly is ending. And that's very disappointing. But I love Holly, and I'll still be here. And I wish you the absolute best. And I hope that the third time's the charm. I hope that you are able to find the person that makes everyone happy. I hope that you find the person that can write grants as well as I can. I am hoping that you find somebody that loves this community as much as I do. That will put their heart and soul into the position. Because unlike what Mr. Costello stated, it's more than just the people that live on 5 streets. These are our businesses. These are our business owners. This is our community. This is more than a budget breakdown. These are people. These are residents. These are employees. It's our tax base and our tax dollars and our events and everything that goes into it. I'm sorry that it became a political back and forth based upon my boss, my former boss. I apologize for putting you in this position because it was never my intent. Though I am shocked. Shocked. So in the future, as the person that applied, I would ask that you do come together and that you do make a plan before you come here to this seat and make a vote. I would ask that you inform everybody around you of exactly what they're about to meet. I knew. I had a feeling. I knew it was going to be tough. I knew that it was going to be like, why is she wanting to come here? That seems odd. I thought all the great things I've done. I am disappointed that at no point did the council discuss my extensive resume, my portfolio, the 3 90-day plans that I presented. Not once was there ever a discussion about me or my ability to do the job. Not once was there anybody that ever said that I didn't have the capabilities to do the job. So I appreciate those of you that knew that I absolutely would have kicked this job's ass. And we would have had a great time. And we would have done great things. And I know that you still will. I'm not saying that I'm the end of it, but you have the opportunity to move forward. You have the opportunity to put the plan together. In my interview, we talked about the need for an admin. We talked about the need for planning. We talked about the need for organization. We talked about the possibility of having personal problems in a professional space. And I did state that. And so I'm going to resign that this is a personal problem in a professional space, because I know that not a single person that actually reviewed my letters of recommendation, my resume, my portfolio, and my 3 90-day plans, or that have worked with me, have been the benefit of any of the number of grants that I have written for this community, could ever say that I couldn't do the job. So I will take that home with me, because I'm proud of that. Proud of the work that I've done for my community. I'm proud of the work that I wanted to do for you. I'm proud of the fact that I was able to work at the township and then transfer to the village without issue. I was not going to be a hitch in anybody's giddy-up. I wanted to show how great this community is. And I know you do too. And so I wish you the absolute best luck. And I fear that you're going to need it. So thank you for your dedication. Thank you for your volunteer time. Thank you for stepping in. Thank you for being a steward of our community and our tax dollars. I hope that when you have another director that you choose, that upon an approach to council, that somebody will be there. Somebody will be there to present your new person. It would have been great to hear everything that you said about me on June 9th at the council meeting. Unfortunately, it was overshadowed by ethics violations that nobody seemed to really understand or have a handle on. I appreciate your time, and I thank you for reminding me who I am. It was needed. So, I hope you have a great night.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Any other public comment? Board comments. Mr. Wingelmeyer,
Not at this moment.
Mr. Elliott. Hillary,
Can you come back to me?
sure can. Jerome?
Yeah, I just, again, want to reiterate that I am still very proud of the work that the selection committee did to bring forward a DDA director candidate. I think we put it, well, I know we put in a lot of extra hours on that project. On 2 occasions now, actually. And I thought we had a sure winner, I'm not gonna lie, because of her passion and her knowledge and her dedication. I don't know all the behind-the-scenes reasons, and I don't want to belabor the topic. I just want to say that I really do hope that we can make a plan that will work for both of us, that we can move this community forward, because that's what we need. We have a lot of great things going on in this village, and we do not need division, and we do not need any of the behind the scenes, as to coin your phrase, drama. I'm quite frankly over it. I'm a volunteer, as all of you are, and I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for the drama. So I hope we can get beyond it and do that quickly. Thank you.
Kathy? Kari?
I already said it.
Tarina?
Hello. I was not able to go to the city council meeting. And I was a little upset for two reasons. Not only did we lose what sounded like an amazing, amazing opportunity to have this woman work with us, thank you for all the extra time that you did with the hiring committee. I was also really upset that we weren't notified that one of our board members was brought up on, which was dismissed because, it wasn't an actual issue, but an ethics violation. And we were not told as a board so that we could go and support our fellow board member. That we're not a team, that someone had to possibly stand by themselves in front of council, that we weren't notified. And I'm a little upset about that, because I want to be here to support every single one of you. And I know, I really want to be part of the solution. I don't want to be always saying all the problems and everything, but I am just very disheartened today, and since the city council meeting. I feel disheartened. I feel like a child, that my vote doesn't mean anything, that the city council can be like a parent and say, we know better. You don't, I know you think that, this is what you want, but you don't. So we're just gonna say no. It's disheartening. And I wanna figure out a way that we can work together so that is not a feeling that we have, because we do have to work together. So I'm hoping that the drama does end and that we can work together and find a way, because I do wanna be part of the solution. And I don't want things like who I have a drink with brought up, or who I have food with brought up and used against anyone, because I want to break bread with every single one of them. I want to, businesses, people. I want us to work together. So that's it.
Thank you. April?
Yes, I know the council decision was disappointing, and none of it was personal. None of us made any friends that day when we made the decision that we made. Division was certainly never something that I wanted to cause. That's why process is important. And process needs to be followed. Transparency as well is very important. Now, I've got a lot of good stuff today from today's meeting to report to the council. You're adopting and amending a budget. You're pursuing hiring a legal consult. You're looking at education and training. I saw the packet in there. Amending and updating bylaws and adopting a purchasing policy. What I'd like to revisit is a few months back, we talked about including Midtown, Northtown, and there were some businesses as well, at least one or two in Battle Alley, that felt excluded. I didn't hear any updates about those. And does anyone have anything? We were talking about joint events or some way of inclusion for Midtown, Uptown, and the rest of the Battle Alley businesses.
I don't remember what that, I personally don't remember what that conversation was. Is it with regards to events, or was it with regards to just not feeling involved in general with what we're doing?
As far as the businesses in Midtown and Uptown, it was just inclusion, period.
Okay.
Because, in whatever ways that any of your subcommittees came up with, whether that's events, whatever. As far as the businesses in Battle Alley, it was Dana from Fur Babies that spoke, and someone else, I can't remember who, I'm kind of looking around to see if anyone.
Thank you,
Erica,
Erica,
thank you.
maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
They felt they weren't being included in some of the, well, I guess in anything. And they were hoping for more outreach. Now, I don't know if that's a fair assessment, and if they.
That actually was a misunderstanding. They wanted to make sure that if we had something on Saginaw Street, that it didn't exclude Battle Alley. That's why they spoke.
Okay.
So nothing in front of their stores, but also so that it didn't cut off right there, and then Battle Alley, like nobody realized things were going down there.
Oh, like
It's
the
more of an
witches
artsy
event?
alley. Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So I've been working with, them, and making sure that we have, that we include them, and we took lots of activities down there, so when we're planning those things, so I think that.
Thank you.
I
Yeah.
can add to that. The other part is that we are as a design committee, looking to do more things up in Ganshaw Park, but I think as promotions, we could perhaps add something up in that end of town. I know parking is limited there, is part of the issue. And so there was a talk about possibly like maybe putting live entertainment in the gazebo one evening or something, and that type of thing to draw interest that way. It's very challenging to engage those businesses up there. I've personally tried on a lot of different opportunities, and it's, I really wish that a couple of businesses from those areas would come forward and serve on some of our committees. I've had a couple over time, and they kind of fade away. You know, I know with the holiday decor, I'm trying to extend that north farther to make it all-inclusive and do that type of thing. But again, I have to get buy-in from the business owners up there. I'm waiting for some response from the owners of the Holly, that plaza where the Holly Foods is and all that, because there's a couple holiday trees, a couple Christmas trees there that I would like to add lights to, but I need consent from them to get power. And I can't seem to get anyone to return my calls. So it's a struggle. And as a volunteer, you only struggle so long and then you just say, screw it.
Well, and
Just to be
you
honest.
you volunteer a lot of your man hours and,
Right, so I do think we are attempting. Could we do more? Yes, of course. But I'd like their input. You know, what do they want? What
Yeah.
can we do for them? How can we make something more exciting on the Midtown North End? I mean, Dave's our Midtown representative. And, you know, outside of going to the brewery,
I'm for that.
well, no, you guys did work in beautification of Ganshaw, and that counts too, because part of our responsibility with the tax capture is to bring value to those areas. And I know we tried with, you know, we had Tina Embry, and she had to resign, she had to put her family first.
right, I
And I
understand.
fully support that
And
decision.
the head of,
You
the
had Davo.
owner of,
Yeah, you had
Holly
Davo, and he
Foods,
just
yep.
never showed up, from what I heard. So, I mean, and he's a busy man, he owns a lot of companies, so,
Right.
you know, we do what we can to be inclusive, but, yeah, just keep those creative juices flowing, and thank you, Tarina, for the update about Battle Alley. I'm glad that misunderstanding was cleared up and you guys are working together. So that is all I have. Thank you so much.
I
Okay.
have one other question, and it's just something that just dawned on me. Where are we at in regards to Andy's place? Because I know they got a fairly substantial grant, or
I
correct?
have,
Was it
I
grant? And
can
just-
provide some input, because I've
You
had
can?
conversation
Okay.
with Andy, and I'm sure other people may as well, but she's got a lot of hoops to jump through. It is, I think she has to take a loan out, like a bridge loan.
Okay.
And have those funds then before she can receive the grant. So there's, I think that's the process she's working through right now, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. But, okay,
Okay. So it's moving forward.
yes. Hillary, are you ready?
Yeah, so, I agree with a lot of what Tarina said, and I kind of feel like, as a board member, that, my voice and my vote doesn't matter. So, that's it.
Okay. Our next meeting will be August 11th at 6 PM here at the village offices. I thank everybody for attending. Sorry for the long meeting. I'd like to have shorter meetings, but I think all this needed to be said, and we had a lot of work to get done, so I appreciate that. Meeting's adjourned 8:22 PM.